Good morning. So it's day 8, and I'm no longer going to start to read you these things at the bottom. You can see it if you want to. We know what's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. So it'll still be there, but we're just going to focus on other things. So day 8, congratulations. The quiz will go out later today, which I hope you enjoy doing, and will help to give me a little bit of focus for where we're going to go for the next little while with this as well. And this morning we're going to do some seated yoga so that you can see, so that if you are sitting, that you can see how that you can adapt poses normally. So even if I don't say all the details that you might need to know, you can think, oh yeah, no, I remember how to do this. I remember how to adapt this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come into all fours. So if you see me in all fours like this, working back and forth, we're now going to do the chair version. So if you bring yourself to sitting onto a seat, or you can be sitting in your bed, you're going to have your hands rested comfortably onto your thighs, and you're just going to be sitting up more or less. And if you're in bed, you just have your legs out like this, although they'll probably be a bit bent. You might have a pillow underneath your legs. So from a seated position, we're going to do what we do in cat pose, but we're going to do it in sitting. So you're going to start by rolling back through the back of the waist, and then up again. So do you see, we're just flexing the back and forth. So at the moment we're focusing on the movement of the spine. So that nice easy rolling back of the spine, and the head comes down, and then they're coming up and onto the sit bones and space through the front of the body. So just going back and forth in your own timing. So you're using your breath as the guide when to move. So that when you breathe in, you come one way, when you breathe out, you move the other way. So we get a nice easy flow. So really looking for that really enjoyable sense of how the back and the breath are moving just now. From here, we're going to start to work into the tummy muscles, so that as you roll your back, you're also getting a little lift through the pelvic floor, a little drawing back through the tummy. So the back is still making its rounding movements, but now we're focusing on this this tummy movement. So rolling back and forth this time. Let the back of the body do what it wants. Focus on the lift through the pelvic floor, the drawing back in the tummy. It doesn't have to be a massive movement. The most important thing is that we're doing all the different bits together, so the pelvic floor and the tummy. So we're strengthening from the centre. And you can make this quite a nice strong breath if you would like to, or quite strong movement. Just if that feels good for your body, we can really work with the tummy muscles if we want to. And then you're going to bring yourself up to just natural sitting. So I'm going to show you a pose that I would teach standing up. So just where you might not be able to see all of this, you're not, so I'm going to have to move you back a little bit. So from standing, this is what, do stay sitting down. From standing, I would teach this sort of pose here. So we're lifting up and onto the head, and the feet are nice and settled and down on the ground. But we're going to do our seated version of it. So from sitting, you can do it two ways. You can do the sitting in bed, legs resting up version, or you can do it where you're sitting on a chair, where your legs are just straight out. And you can, if you want to be a little bit more active, you can walk or rock yourself towards the edge of the chair. So I'm not sitting in the back of it, which is going to make my back tend to slump. I'm sitting towards the edge of it, so I'm up on my sit bones, the spine lengthens up. And from here, if I want to, I can step one leg back, so I can get the feeling of extending back through the back heel, so that I'm not actually standing, but I'm getting some work into the legs. If I wanted to increase that, I could lift my heels slightly off the floor in the front foot. I could extend out through the balls of the feet, front foot, and out through the toes, so that I start get a feeling of aliveness through that front leg. And then I'm going to let my hands come wide and down, where I'm going to let my shoulders release away. You're going to take your palms of your hands together, you're going to scoop them together, you're going to sit them up and onto the back of your head. You've probably not got a bundle of hair up here, which doesn't help this pose at all. You're going to press down with the sit bones to gently lift up with the elbows, And you're imagining that your elbows are gently squeezing towards one another. So as the elbows squeeze towards one another, you get a feeling of width out through the back of your shoulders. You're going to stretch up towards the ceiling with your fingertips and then take your hands out and take them down to the sides. If you want to, you can adapt this and you can do it in standing. I'm going to teach it in sitting for the other side though. So we come back to nice even legs, or come back to just getting a little bit soft and just noticing how you are. And then other foot is going to step back. Do be aware if you are sitting and doing this that it might feel very strenuous, so you might need to just slow things down a bit again. So do feel free to pause me in between if you know that would be better for you. So I've got my back foot, you can barely see it, but it's behind here, behind the chair. I'm extending back through that back heel. My front foot is just nice and settled on the floor, but I'm going to come up onto the heel, onto the ball of the foot, so lifting the heel so the arch of my foot gets a little bit more alive. Ball of the foot is steady on the floor, toes are extending out gently along the floor, like they're just gently feeling out. Hands are going to come down to the sides. Same thing, you're going to sweep the palms of the hands together, take them all the way up and onto your head. You're going to gently squeeze with the elbows towards one another and then lift with the elbows so we get a really nice feeling of length through the front of the body, up to the front, but also a feeling of gently arching back through the back of the waist. Take a nice easy breath and then stretch up with your fingers, take your hands down and bring yourself back to sitting, I should say. Now, often we're going to be doing a twist, so when I'm teaching it, you might see me doing this, and my feet are together and I'm just coming one side to the other side. You can do very, very similar in a chair. So from a seated position, I can take my heels together, let my knees come wide, and you see I'm rocking towards the edge of the seat again so that I've got that feeling of lifting up from the tailbone. So I've got a good starting position for the pelvis that lets my back lengthen up. So from here we're going to come into a twist. So I'm going to take one hand onto the chair beside me, one hand lightly onto my leg. So it's really important that when we're twisting that we're quite gentle with the arms so that we're asking the internal body or the kind of centre of the body to do the work. Because it's not our arms that are twisting, it's this main area. So gently sweeping round with the rib cage to the open side. So get that feeling that you can feel the movement of the muscles as it's spiralling round, and if you were to look down onto your t-shirt you should see little lines coming across the way to show that's where the main movement is happening. Bringing yourself back to the centre and to the opposite side. So as we come round, again, rib cage is drawing round, back of the neck is long. So we're not so much thinking about the head coming round, because that's me twisting just my neck. We're thinking about moving round with the rib cage whilst gently lifting the rib cage up so that we get that feeling of length in the spine as we come round. You're going to bring yourself all the way back to the centre. Let your body settle, let your body relax. And then we're going to come to your first side again. So again, hands adjusted. And also if you're on a bed, don't stretch way back because that's going to take your back into a kind of different sort of a position. We're ideally wanting the spine to be up straight, and it can be a much smaller movement. It could just be to here if that feels better for you. So hand is settled onto your leg and just behind your hip. You're going to spiral round with the tummy, and you see my head is not far off in line between my shoulders. This is what happens when my head comes round, but that's just twisting my neck. So focus first of all on the tummy, then maybe a little bit through the shoulders so you can feel that lengthening out between the shoulder blades, and then maybe you'll take your head round, but so gently, and particularly if you've had any issues with migraine in your life or neck issues. Slowly float yourself all the way back to the centre. So how we come in and out of something is vitally important, especially when we're dealing with areas of the body like the neck. Opposite hand is going to come across your body, hand settles onto the chair or the bed, spiral round with the rib cage, gently open round. So even if you think, oh my goodness, this looks terribly easy, you can take it to where you need to go, because this is a very, very central stretch and release for the body. Think about the shoulders starting to move. If it feels good, maybe the head will follow. And then bring yourself back so smoothly to the centre. I'm just going to bring my feet straight, facing straight forwards, and then we're going to fold forwards over our legs. So it might be that you come to here, and that this already gives you the feeling of that lengthening out through the back of your spine. It might be that you want to fold all the way forwards and you want to release your head down. What you're wanting to do is almost allow gravity in the position that the body is in to allow the back muscles to lengthen out. So this is a resting pose, but it's a resting pose where we're also stretching. And you can imagine that you're drawing your tailbone slightly towards the chair so that you can get a nice feeling of lengthening in the back of the waist. Walking your hands up your legs to come back out, and then stretching your legs out. You can bring your toes towards you a little. So a nice strong stretch so the back of the legs are lengthening. Again, you can see we're still sitting so that we're kind of comfortable and even. And then if you bring yourself to comfortable sitting, we're going to do a little bit of breathing, and I'm going to do it on my chair just now. So we're going to do our Ujjayi breathing from yesterday, so it's that soft, easy in-breath. So from here, again, we're focusing on lowering the body for the actual breathing mechanism. So you're looking for an area of the body to move which is lower down. So you might want to take a hand onto your body here, and you're going to imagine you're doing that soft fogging up. So starting with the lips open. And I'm going to make it a little more noisy than it needs to be so you can hear it. But remember, this is such a gentle breath that we're doing, particularly in this time when we've got COVID-19 coming around. We're wanting to strengthen the breathing, but from a place of gentleness and kindness, so we're not overstretching or creating a sense of stress in our breathing. So gentle, easy breathing. Once you've done that a couple of times, so do keep going whilst I'm talking, you're going to start to gently close the lips. You keep breathing, so keep that nice gentle closing. It's a little closing through the back of the throat, that Darth Vader breath, so you can feel that kind of really soft, growly noise almost in the back of your throat. And you can feel like you're breathing out through the central part of your throat. And if it helps, take your hand onto your diaphragm area so that you can feel your breath out moving. So you can feel you're breathing low into your body. And that is our yoga for the day. I hope you can take it into your life and that it can sustain and enrich your life and give you that bit of extra flexibility, that bit of extra energy. And I've got a little quote for you here. My quote of the day is, "The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another," and it's by William James. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. I think that's a good thought for the day. And as you go about your day, my little challenge for you is to go out and, or maybe look out if you're not going out, but to certainly notice a plant or plants in nature. Notice how they're growing. Notice how they're not perturbed by what's going on at the moment. Everything's going on naturally and beautifully. And many parts of nature are absolutely fine. And so are we right now. Thank you very much and have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoy some sun. Goodbye.